besties. You've found your community bestie to share thoughts and opinions, recap the shows we love,
Having too much fun.
Bravo should be fun.
and have piping hot gossip sessions about the celebrities and Bravo lebs we love, hate, and love to hate.
He went on a podcast claiming he had a threesome with 2 women from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Immediately, I was like, I wonder if it's Brandy and Carlton.
I'm Caitlin Marshall, your pop culture and Bravo bestie.
Allegedly allegations.
And if you enjoy fun conversation between friends, listening to your bestie rant about shows we can't get enough of, plus enjoy a little bit of, well, ridiculousness.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's a spider that is coming down. Hold on.
Oh my God!
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God. Has anybody seen my ring?
Oh my God.
I don't want to ruin the party or anything.
Have you seen my ring? Oh my God. Can you look on the floor for my ring? God, someone's gonna kill me.
Don't mess with me because I will come.
What? Oh.
Feel free to leave that in for whatever entertainment purposes.
You're in the right place. So thanks for joining me on Besties by Bravo.
Hi, besties. Thank you for joining me today. It's Friday, April 18th. And y'all, I know, I was supposed to release this Summer House episode yesterday. It has been a week that was just so much that I realized yesterday if I had recorded, it would not have even been fun for anyone to listen to. And so I saved us all the trouble, took a very rare day off. No, I still was posting on social media, so it wasn't a day off. But I'm here today. And I know I was supposed to be doing the Valley today as well. But what I will be doing next week is covering both the first and second episode of this second season of the Valley, because I don't feel like a lot happened the first episode. It was just kind of setting the groundwork for us. And I think I'll be able to get a meatier episode from both 1 and 2. And that will come out on Wednesday next week. Deal? Okay, deal. So, also, I have to tell you, we have a little bit of tea. Lexi and Jesse Solomon absolutely are not together anymore, to say the least. Who's shocked by way of raising hands? Anyone? Yeah, because if you're watching on YouTube, please like the video and join the comment section because there's more to this. She had an interview with Steph McNeil over at Glamour, and she said several things. 1, she and Jesse haven't spoken since this season has been airing. 2, they have not filmed the reunion just yet, but she is looking forward to hashing a few things out. However, she has no interest in anything with Jesse. She also said that someone like Jesse, who could blatantly lie while filming with cameras there, is actually a very scary person. And then she said that her relationship with Jesse was the worst one she's ever been in. The worst relationship she's ever been in. Girl, wow. Hey, you know what? Welcome to the light. I'm so glad you are seeing all of it for what it was now. I'm proud of you. It's called growth, okay? Look it up. All right, let's get on into this episode. Sierra and Paige are still having their conversation about Paige and Craig's relationship. And Sierra, I have to say, she is coming off very wise, insightful about the things regarding relationships, considering, God bless her gorgeous heart, her track record with mediocre white men isn't quite the best, but I have some hope. At least I did until I saw the photos of her and Jesse acting anything but brotherly and sisterly at Coachella from the last weekend. Okay. Sierra tells Paige that she's putting the out on Craig and that it's always easier to put it on the other person rather than digging deep and determining if the relationship is even still what you want. Ooh, girl. I mean, facts. That's hard to do when you've been together that long and you do love the person. Wow. In confessional, Paige says she's feeling guilty that she's not more happy at the moment because she's manifested every single thing that's happening for her right now. Her apartment, a boyfriend who is obsessed with her career, everything. So she questions why at this time she's more anxious than ever when she quite literally has everything she has wanted. But they conclude the conversation and determine that they're already out, so they may as well stay out for the night and partay. So everyone goes to a club, including our little preggers, Lindsay, because it is her birthday weekend. After they get bottle service with a like HBD sign for Lindsay, she says in confessional, "Here I am at the club, pregnant, celebrating my 30th birthday. You can't write that stuff. This is the shit you can't write. But this is the last birthday I'm going to have before I have a baby. So I'm going to go whoop it up at the club for 20 minutes and then go home." Paige, Sierra, and Lindsay, unsurprisingly, get home first at exactly 11:11 on the dot. Make a wish. Sierra and Paige's room. Girlies, oh my God, no. How can you sleep when it's like that? At least, I don't know, shove some things into a corner, form some sort of ADHD piles, or better yet, you need a chair, as in the chair. You know what I'm talking about? Everyone who does not have a chair in their room, highly recommend getting one. And it just suddenly becomes the chair where everything just gets piled on there that you're not quite ready to put, away or don't really know what to do with yet. Like anytime you go shopping, the shopping bags go on the chair. Truly, highly recommend it. Got to have the chair. Amanda gets back and she's Sierra and Paige FaceTime Lindsay, who is down the hall in the other room, to sing her happy birthday instead of walking down the hall to her room. But the three of them, when they get off of the phone with her, conclude they love Lindsay pregnant and want her pregnant forever. Oh, no. Gosh. Once you hit that, I don't know, 8-month mark, that is when you feel like you ate the entire Thanksgiving turkey in one swallow, and that turkey is trying to get comfortable in your tummy by moving the little wings and pushing elbows and knees into ya. Paige tells Sierra that her anxiety is already hitting her really hard as they're laying in bed and says that Craig is going to kill her for the conversation she had with Sierra at that outdoor party that Kyle was DJing. And Sierra says that, well, Craig's going to hate me. Y'all, isn't that something that would be so incredibly hard about doing this stuff? That you can't even vent and talk a little shit with your besties without it turning into a whole thing and whole big topic when, I don't know, sometimes it's just healthy to have a little vent, Now Jesse and Lexi are back and they're trying to hide from the cameras behind a car and have a conversation about what was going on at the club. Jesse is telling Lexi, "You can't come up with anything I did besides the freaking toe shit. That's way less intense than everything I saw tonight." I already highly doubt this, but okay. She tells him, "I was holding West up. I wasn't flirting with him," with Jesse saying, "You were with him all night." And she denies that, but he tells her, "You know how I am with that." Oh, geez. She tells him, "And you know how I am." And he does agree to that, saying, "I love that about you." That door is like another cast member. Worse than Kyle coming in to wake up Amanda at like 4 a.m. just to be like, "Hey, I'm home and I'm wasted. Can you treat me like a baby and sing me a lullaby to go to sleep now? I know you're asleep, but I'm literally a baby because I'll wake you up at 4 a.m. uninvited." And also, if I were in that house, I would 1000% have to have a sound machine that was loud AF and a loud AF fan, because aside from the door being like an actual issue, the people in that house are also an actual issue. I would never be able to sleep. In confessional, Lexi says that on the way home in the Uber, Jesse told her, "By the way you were with Wes tonight was worse than how I was the weekend you were gone." Okay. Oh, here we go. So now you're going to be possessive, Jesse, when literally you made her out to be psychotic for admitting she tends to be jealous. Got it. She continues by saying that West was super drunk and she was just literally holding your best friend upright. They're now in bed, and he's saying that he had such a fun night with her, but doesn't want the negative energy and claims that he didn't bring up shit. Dude, what are you saying here? I'll tell you how much it makes sense. It makes all of no sense, okay? She tells him, "You said the boys grabbed me too much," but he says that's not what I said. I was trying to say that it made me so happy to see you flourishing because it reminded me of myself, how I like to be when I'm out. Flourishing? This is making me feel like it's such an infantilization. Okay? Like, sir, what do you mean flourishing? Is she your delicate little flower that you're enjoying watching bloom after you fertilize it? He says they just have to talk tomorrow, and he is just clearly slobber knocked. Okay. There's no sobriety to be found in his body. In confessional, Lexi says, "You got your toe sucked by a stranger, and apparently you're saying you would have dated our friend that we live with. I was not flirting with Wes. That's not the same thing. What are you talking about?" The hypocrisy and jealousy that's going on right now is like mind blowing. And see, yes, I'm glad she's at least recognizing it, but at the same time, girly pop. Ooh, okay. Glad we know where they are now at the very least. She asks him why he's huffing and puffing, and he tells her, "I'm just caught up in a lot of emotions." In other words, basically in F boy language, "I'm drunk and found a way to turn everything around onto you after I acted like a douche canoe the first second there was a weekend you were away." And also, y'all, we have seen enough recaps now that keep confirming that he is the one who told this chick to suck his Fred Flintstone. Then he just says, "I just love you." "Do you?" "Okay." And she's like, "Huh?" And he goes, "I love you. Don't you love me?" Oh, Lord. And bless her sweet little mid-20s heart. She says so much. Oh, dear Lord, I see this so clearly for what it is, and I think we all do. He's gaslighting her about being as touchy-feely as he is with the girls, by telling her she's doing too much with West when clearly she feels West is a safe space because she's not even remotely interested in him. And I don't think Lexi would do that to Jesse. We then see Emerald comes in with a new little notch on his bedpost, and Paige's anxiety is peaked. So she goes into Gabby's room. Remember, she's working that weekend to sleep because, Gabby's not there. But the problem here is that Gabby's room is right up against Emerald's. And Paige is laying in the bed and she's got her little comfort phone with her, her service phone, if you will. And where are we? Gosh, yes. According to the timestamp on the Chiron, it is 3:45 a.m. If I am awake at 3:45 a.m., it is against my will already. But at 3:45 a.m., as Paige is trying to kind of close her little eyes, we hear a rhythmic thumping with Paige just sitting up, sporting this look of utter disgust, like, "Oh my God." In confessional, Paige is just like, "F me. I'm livid. The night I'm anxious. Like, I don't need to hear this." And ew, we get an insert of the girl asking Emerald, "Is it okay if we make noise?" And him saying, "Make all the noise, baby." All right. I mean, I guess like when you're in the moment, that's like steamy and all that. But I mean, I don't know. Like, don't forget, I love to read me some filthy, smutty romantasy books. Okay. If y'all ever want a list of the best ones, I literally have read about 15 books since January. Don't ask. I know it sounds like I must be making it up, but I'm actually not. Like a book a week. Okay. Sounds about right. Anyway, at the same time, you're literally in a house with 9 other people, Emerald. Come on. In confessional, Paige says that hearing 2 people jackhammering their sex next door is the last thing she needs right now when she's just trying to find the will to survive at the moment. It's now after 4 a.m. and Amanda's texting Kyle asking him where the F he is, but we see him and West running up to the house like 2 little dorks sneaking back into their parents' home after a night at a field party at 5:32 a.m. Oh my God. But parents locked the door on them. You missed curfew. Sorry. They can't get in the house because it appears it's locked, with it waking up damn near everyone. Lindsay's the one who has to come and save the day. Poor thing, she needs her sleep. She opens the door for them. And I mean, okay, maybe it is good practice for when Gemma is a teenager in like 16 whole years, but hopefully Gemma will be much smarter than these doofus magoos. Actually, I know she will. Lindsay's her mom. That kid won't get away with shit. Also, West, please, what are you wearing? Like, sometimes I find his style very interesting, but like, no. Anyway, Kyle goes and passes out in a chair in that little sunroom with his fly undone, just backwards on his neck. How, when you are over 40, did you have the even ability to wake up the next morning and turn your head in any direction sleeping like that? How? Amanda wakes up and is just like, "Ugh, I can't with him, Kyle," and goes downstairs where the kitchen is an absolute disaster. But she's obviously in search of Kyle, who she finds in the sunroom passed out. And she just saunters up to him, standing over him, and sticks her finger in his mouth, which wakes him up. And all Kyle does is just, are we doing brunch here? It's almost like he wanted her to think that he was just resting his eyes for a moment, that he did come to bed. I got up. I was going to make coffee. Brunch. Yeah, we're doing brunch here, right? Okay, I was getting a head start and just took a nap. In confessional, Amanda says, I knew he was home. I just didn't know where he was. That's why I put a tracking device on my husband. I know that he knows that he's wrong, and there's not really much I need to say. The way I would kick his ass. Kyle goes to bed, and we cut to Wes laying fully clothed on his own bed and see them both at the same time finally remove their shoes and lay down. Let me say this. There is no world where I would be inebriated enough to get in my bed and not change out of my street clothes. Since I was 23 years old, there has only been one time that when I got home from a night out that I was too far gone to not wash my face and put on some form of PJs. Because I always know I will not be able to sleep in any kind of way if there is a stitch of makeup on my face or I don't have pajamas on. Amanda's setting up a cute little brunch for Lindsay's birthday, and everyone is starting to wake up and stir. In Jesse and Lexi's room, we're segueing their wake up into a confessional with Jesse, where he says, last night, West is like massaging Lexi's shoulders and like dancing and touching her. And like, even for me, it might have been a little much. But given what had happened with Sierra and with the toe sucking, I'm excited. I think, oh, this is great. We can all just be flirty. And I think Lexi thinks it's not apples to apples because she didn't see how she was being flirty with West. Which is kind of funny because that's how I felt when she accused me. Sir, if they were being that flirtatious with each other, we would have had some footage, period. And what the F do you mean you're excited by Lexi and Wes being flirtatious? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, no, I don't. I just, no. Are you excited that you think you'll be able to use this one? That's what it is. That's what it is. You think you're going to be able to use this one thing against her every time you are out of line flirting. There we go. Figured it out. Didn't take long. This is why women in their mid to late 30s are hopefully rarely dating F-boys because they don't get away with shit with us. But he goes on to say, but I'm not interested in having the same fight again. I just want to be on good terms because you know you're wrong and using the excuse that you don't want to fight. That's what it is. Paige is back in her room with Sierra, which obviously Sierra noticed that she did not sleep in there because of her anxiety over the conversation the two of them had, well, about her and Craig. Paige even says she's so anxious that she may just get an Uber alone and head back to the city. God, I'm not going to lie. That is the worst feeling. And it feels like an adult slumber party there where you just want to go home and see your mom and hug your dog. Or in Paige's case, hug your cat, if she'll let you. Emeril is with his quote-unquote friend in his room, whispering with her about trying to get her Instagram and connect with her. Let me tell you this. I guarantee it's a way to get her name because he forgot it. Paige tells Sierra she's done with Emerald now because last night when she slept in the other room, she thought someone was actually banging on her door. But it turns out it was just Emerald playing construction site next door by jackhammering a female into his mattress. She says, I wanted to be like, ma'am, you can stop fake moaning. And that it went on for a full 45 minutes. Y'all may call me boring as hell, but that is just too long. Like, get on with it. I have things to do. I can only focus for so long. But Paige and Sierra question how many girls Emerald has brought back to the house so far, and the number is 5, which they feel that he needs to have some more respect for the house as a whole, and the fact that they have a pregnant lady in the house. Emerald goes downstairs with his friend to search for her shoes, and West is upstairs fighting for his life because he's about to vomit, and that looks like the most miserable morning ever. I do not understand how these people survive. No. God, just the thought of a hangover makes me want to crawl out of my skin. Paige opens the front door because, well, it was open, and she sees him roll out there in his undies with his friend and shuts the door on them, saying, put some pants on, when she gets inside and tells Lexi, I am so grossed out by him now, like officially. She walks into the kitchen telling Amanda, I got woken up last night by the sweet sounds of Emerald having sex with some girl. Emerald, at the very least, got some shorts on and strolls into the kitchen with Paige telling him, you need an STD check before there's even a good morning of any kind. And like, listen, I get it though. I mean, do not wake me up or keep me up when sleep is involved. Sleep is so precious and necessary that it's the one thing outside of someone I love that I will guard like Gollum in the ring. My precious sleep. Emerald says he uses condoms, but she's like, yeah. But seriously, how many girls is that at this point? And not to be a downer, but yes, you can get things even when you do use protection. I mean, they're not the worst ones in the world, and there shouldn't be such intense stigma around things like that. But yeah, sorry, you absolutely can still get something. I love how the girls are celebrating Lindsay and it being her birthday. I love seeing it. Love seeing it. Sierra is laying in a chair outside with some steamy little under tata hanging out of a white tank top with no bra. So when Carl comes to sit and hang out, it's easy to guess why he feels so comfortable there. Is it weird to say that I'm slightly jealous of these girls who have the confidence and like don't give an F mentality to just wear these type of things braless? I would be covering up my friend Lindsay's daughter, who's the same age as my son. They call them their circles or, the pepperonis before I walk into my own kitchen. Can't do it. Can't do it. Like, I can't. I'm one of those people, I don't wear a bra when I sleep, obviously. But like, if those people who can just sleep in the nude, I am someone who will have nightmares that I am naked in public if I do that. And if I don't sleep. Gosh, I really am like an infant when it comes to sleeping. Anywho, Sierra asks Carl how the night was, and he tells her that Lindsay came up to him at the club and let him know she was thinking about him because remember, this was a very tough one with it being the anniversary of his brother's passing, which, to be honest, I'm glad Lindsay did that. But I will also say, even with everything that went down between them, it was the least she could do. And I'm proud of her for doing it. But it was the least she could do, and it also was the most. So if she didn't do that, I would have been disappointed in her. He told her happy birthday, but she was like, it's tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, but it's technically, all right, whatever. So just take the win there, Carl. They realize they're both going to Montauk, so he asks her if he can get a ride with her up there. In confessional, Carl says, I want to get back to being good friends with Sierra. The first summer I met her back in 2020, we had a really good bond, and she was incredibly supportive when my brother passed away. It's like there's just like an emotional intelligence that I appreciate, and it's something that I am absolutely looking for and something that I want in my next partnership. No, Carl, stay away from her. You both need to just say no. Sierra, no more of these tall white boys with no real jobs. Nope, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. No. Kyle comes out and asks Carl if he's ready for the B-Day brunch to celebrate his ex-fiance, with Sierra saying, hello, Mr. 5:30 a.m., because that's what time he and Wes came stumbling into the house. And Sierra then tells Kyle, Carl, and Jesse that she's over Imrul and questions if he's bringing girls in randomly like this at his own home because she feels there's a lack of respect for the house with it. And now Imrul walks out with her saying, "And speak of the effing devil." As he's saying it was a fun night. And she goes, "Yeah, we heard you." She asks him if he brings girls home like this when he's not there at the share house and tells him, "I feel like it's obnoxious at this point." He tells her he's thought about that and about not bringing someone back. So she asks him when exactly he had that thought and when exactly he executed that thought, and asks him to consider what he's bringing into the house because it's getting a little crazy. So he then looks at everyone trying to find out, like, hey, is everyone feeling this way? But Sierra takes it for the team, says that these are just her thoughts and that it doesn't include everyone else. So Carl, because he, is clearly feeling Sierra, supports her, saying that they've never actually had this volume of visitors in the house before. And then straight men will do anything to get a sports reference in there. I mean, I swear to God. Jesse says, "I think maybe an away game could be great for you. Maybe," which Imrul feels is good advice. And in confessional, Jesse says he's been in Imrul's shoes, but that he had a better and closer relationship with everyone in the house last year before he brought someone home just that one singular time. Remember the British girl? Inside Paige is telling West and Lexi about waking up to the fake moaning from the girl that Imrul brought home. And she tells them, "I know a fake moan when I hear one." Back outside, Sierra says she's said enough and gets up telling Imrul, like, no one's mad at you, but. In confessional, Imrul says that he's not ashamed or sorry that he brought someone home or the strange sex home, but that he's not going to keep doing it if it's bothering everyone. And that from the ages of 6 to 23, he was undocumented and essentially had to live in hiding. So now he feels free to just be himself, do what he would do, like what he would love to do, which apparently is just, we've got Fred Flintstones being sucked, and now we've got little Bam Bam here. So that's all he's doing is bam, bam. Anyway, but he's going to stop if it's causing issues. Sierra goes inside and tells Paige about the soft confrontation with Imrul. Why do I feel like Carl, if he had heard that, would be like, "Oh, did someone say soft? Like soft and tenderness? Sierra, I love that you are so soft, by the way." Sierra sits with Paige and asks her about how she's doing with her anxiety because Paige is having deep rooted anxiety, and she starts tearing up, saying how she knows Paige and that she takes on some of Paige's anxiety when she's in this state. Paige tells her she's feeling so spread thin and not getting a day off, and that she's worried about Craig, saying he's going to freak out on me. I'm just nervous Craig's going to be like, "You're such a freaking bitch." And they're both crying as Paige is telling her she's so anxious and just wants to go home, adding, "I get that he has valid feelings too. He can be like, 'Oh, you're so busy. What about me?' Like, I get that. But sometimes I feel that he dumbs down how busy I am and that I am being a bad person if my relationship isn't the number one thing in my life, or that I'm not putting it first. And I always feel like I'm doing the wrong thing." Again, it was just misaligned values and goals at this point, and I think Craig was putting way too much pressure on her. Way too much. She then says, "I always get nervous that if me and Craig are going to break up, it's going to be like, oh, he's so much better off without her. She gets what she deserves. I just get overwhelmed by it." And what do you know? What do you know? That's exactly what everyone did to her about it. She doesn't have to be with someone she doesn't want to be with. Stop berating women over this. I'm sorry, I love so many of you. Even in the YouTube comments, like, guys, come on. It's mean. She didn't want to be with him. It doesn't make her a garbage person. And it doesn't make Craig a garbage person for wanting to be with her. God damn, I'm so tired of that. But also, I cannot even imagine what it'd be like to have to break up with someone so publicly, no matter which side you're on of it. I mean, there would not be able to be any going back because it's public to that extent, and that it's got to be like you either are together or you're not. And y'all give people some grace. Jesus Christ. No one cheated. It just wasn't working anymore. And I'm so exhausted of seeing people tear a female down simply because she wasn't ready to get married, have kids, and make him the number one priority. You don't have to hate either one of them. I'm sorry, it's been frustrating me. I still see like constant comments, and I'm like, just shut up. I love you, but shut up. She worries that everything she has will go away and it will ruin her life. And that makes me sad too, because it sounds like at this moment, Paige believes that her success hinges on this man and that his involvement with her is what will keep her on a successful trajectory, and that his involvement with her is the only thing people like about her. It wasn't Craig who got her the podcast or gave her that funny bone. It was her. Just like it wasn't her who helped Craig become the pillow king. Now, you have to admit she did help his image. They helped each other's image. Period. Let's just go ahead and call out that elephant in the room. All right. Sierra tells Paige that her whole personality is not being in a relationship with Craig. Exactly. In confessional, Sierra says that it's clear people love Paige and Craig together, but she wants Paige to realize that her success is not due to Craig and to examine exactly what she'd do if no other soul was watching them. Paige tells Sierra, I love Craig. I just get so nervous saying my feelings that I don't say my feelings because I think people are going to think of me differently. Then she does admit she's supposed to get her period that day. So that's definitely screwing with the mental health and her entire disposition. And hi, excuse me. I might be going through the same thing, besties, because I just yelled at you for talking shit on Paige. It's always TMI around here, but we're besties. It's always going to be a level of TMI. Now we're moving on to Lindsay's birthday brunch. In confessional, a producer asks her if she's where she thought she'd be at 38 years old, and she just busts out cackling. She's like, what? What? I think that timeline ended at 36. Oh, the timeline that she gave Stravi. She says that at one time she wrote that timeline down and that you guys keep flashing back to it. She also says in confessional, it'll be interesting to see what Turner does, because I'm not saying I judge a guy off of how they treat me for my birthday, but I kind of judge a guy based off of how they treat me on my birthday. And God bless Stravi getting her fish and chips for her birthday during COVID. Should have gotten her a sandwich. Should have just gone for it. She then admits in confessional that maybe it was probably just the wrong guy, because if Turner gave her fish and chips, she'd probably enjoy it. Okay. Jesse asks Lindsay if she thinks the baby will be staying with them next summer. And she's like, well, I'm not sure if I could trust all of you with my little baby. Sierra says she's the number one choice for babysitting. I mean, hello, she's a nurse, and I do believe she likes kids. So I would probably, actually, no, I definitely would let Sierra babysit my son McCoy. That is a huge statement for me. There are not many Bravo lips I would allow that. I would let Lindsay. Yeah, Lindsay and Sierra. That's about it on Summer House. Who would you let babysit your kids? I think I would allow, them. Most of the people, I think I would let, you might be surprised by this, I would let Kristen Doty babysit my kid, because I think she would I think she loves children. I would let Brittany, and let's see. Yeah, that. We'll just stick with those. How about that? Let's see, where are we? Okay. Jesse says that he and West could probably babysit together, with Amanda telling him, you guys can't even babysit each other. The way that is so true, as we pan to West wearing his eye mask on his forehead, just fighting for his life through this brunch. They pack up to go home, and Paige is literally dragging her suitcase down the stair with clangs and bangs as West is laying at the bottom of the stairs, which, sir, if you are feeling that miserable, go into your own room. What are you doing? Anyway, and he just tells her that it would have been better to just go ahead and drop the whole damn suitcase on his head for what all the banging and clanging from her suitcase coming down the stairs did to that headache. Jesse goes and hugs Lexi, saying he doesn't like fighting with her, but she's like, I was not fighting with you. She reminds him that he told her he loved her, and says, this is what he says to her. I was drunk and sleepy, trying to claim that Lexi told him to tell her he loves her. In confessional, Lexi says that Jesse tells her he loves her all the time, just not in front of anyone. Oh, okay. All right. And that he's been telling her that he loves her since knowing her for 11 days. The flags. Now, they're not green, they are not yellow, they are red. Not orange, not burnt orange, not coral, they are red, Lexi. She then says in confessional, I'm trying to speed up things with how I'm feeling to meet him where he's at and just see where everything goes. Oh, baby girl. I just boundaries. Jesse has none, apparently, at all. In their room, she says that he tells her he has to say it to her because it hurts him not to. And he claims it's like emotional blue balls, which, by the way, isn't blue balls like a myth, some absolute bullshit that men said to try and goad women into doing things they didn't want to do? I mean, I don't know. I don't have those things, but I thought that it's been proven that blue balls is false anyway. We're back in the city, and Lexi is having martinis with her mom and sister. And apparently, her sister got rid of the apartment she had in Toronto and now lives with Lexi and her mom. Is there constantly because, according to Lexi, they all need to be in the office together and be a part of the meetings for Lexi together. It's her team. And Lexi just has like a little 2-bedroom apartment, but they all end up sleeping in the same bed usually. And look, I am all for a close knit family, 1000%. But this is a little teensy tiny bit too much. Not way too much, but just a little bit. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Okay. They all start crying over the times that they had to leave Lexi in the city by herself. And the conversation turns to her and Jesse with her mom and sister saying they think they're a lot alike, actually, and they think it's a good match. But Lexi tells them about the girls letting her know he's too flirty when she's not around, which has left her feeling a bit iffy about it all. And she does conclude that with her trust issues, if he wants a relationship with her that badly, then he needs to figure out that side of himself out. We're now at the American Cancer Society place that is called the Hope Lodge, which Jesse explains to us is where cancer patients worldwide can come stay for free while seeking cancer treatments, because New York is one of the best places to receive that type of treatment, but it's just so expensive. So they get to stay there for free, which is great. I love that they're volunteering there. It's going to be Jesse, Carl, Lexi, Sierra, Lindsay, Gabby, and West. So no Kyle, Amanda, or Paige. Jesse is going to have his cancer screening after the summer because he didn't want to be going through all of that throughout the summertime again. And Lindsay asks him if Lexi does his checks for him. Hardy har har. Sierra asks Carl how Montauk was, and he says he met a cute girl that he had fun with, and it was Sags. He broke the streak, and it took a minute to warm up to it because he's building himself back up from things. But Jesse cracks a joke to Sierra about how she spent the whole summer up in the Hamptons, and it makes her laugh, and she grabs his arm. How dare she? How dare she after he rolled his entire body on top of her uninvited, but okay. He stops her and goes, Sierra, enough with the touching. And she just is like, what? Like straight deer in headlights, because obviously. And she looks at him. She goes, sorry. Wait, really? And he just says, I mean, it's not my. And she's like, okay, sorry. And he tells her, well, I was the one who got yelled at. She just goes, okay, whatever. And how awkward and weird is Jesse? And to put it like, honestly, to put it all on Lexi in that way, when you are the one, Jesse, who was inappropriate. Oh my God. Jesse tells her to sit down and have a bowl as he gets up to give a speech. And she's like, no. Like, you did not need to shame her like that. She grabbed your arm. You're the one who said that it was turning you on that her leg was near you. But he gets up to give the speech, and it's about how, his cancer journey and the hope that he has and wants to give to the current cancer patients there. Sierra, Paige, and Amanda go for happy hour, and they commiserate over their fur children. Sierra brings up how both Paige and herself called out Imrul, with Sierra saying she's just over the boys in general, which Paige is like, oh, I totally get it. Amanda asks her how she and Craig are, and she says that he came over to her apartment on Sunday and could tell she was super duper anxious, clarifying that he flew in from St. Thomas because he was at his brother's bachelor party there and had always been planning on doing that anyway. That on Monday they had the same conversation as they had a few weeks prior because Craig was working on his schedule for the fall, which then sparked the next topic of how long is it going to be like this, Paige? She says that she told him he was valid in his feelings about what's going on in their relationship, but that when he will say things like that without including the message that, look, I get that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for you to be doing this chore, for her, it feels like he's minimizing and disregarding the fact that this is a huge step in her success and it's a huge opportunity for her. He told her she was right. Good boy. Good. And he apologized that if it came out as him downplaying the tour and what it means to her, that he just misses her and wants to spend time with her. Which Paige jokes that, of course, she was then like, ew, gross. You miss me. You like me. You're obsessed with me. Disgusting. Tell me more. Do more. In confessional, Paige says that any emotional issues she has on her mind is something that's going to have to be dealt with after the tour is over. And listen, y'all, that's the way it goes. I mean, 9/10 of the time, if anything's bothering me when I hop on here, y'all did not hop on here to hear me cry and complain about all the random emotional shit that's going on in my life. I mean, I don't necessarily always do that when I want to listen to someone chat about shows. So I get that if anyone's trying to berate her for this. Just want to say that part. But she adds that any emotional problems I have right now, like, I feel weak even saying that. I have a job to do. And once I complete that, I'll deal with whatever's going on in my personal life. I almost want to forget any conversation I had with Sierra, forget that I felt like that, and be like, I was just being dramatic. God, if I don't feel that. The way it is the worst to come crawling back after a spiral and emotional breakdown is just so, like, I'm fine. It's okay. It was nothing. Honestly, I think you overreacted. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. Why are you asking me? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Anyway, the Cancer Society Hope Lodge volunteer venture is brought up and how Amanda and Paige couldn't go because they were working. Sierra tells them how she was joking with Jesse. And here's the thing, her version of the story is that Jesse told her, don't touch me, which, to be fair, it had to have felt the exact same as him saying that at the end of the day. Let's be very real. But Paige and Amanda are completely shocked by this, as Sierra says she just kept those little hands of hers to herself after that. And Paige points out that it was Jesse who was at the party that weekend saying, oh, if it wasn't, if I wasn't late last year, who knows? Ooh, in confessional, Sierra says, this mofo has some nerve to tell me to not touch him. He has some nerve. You've been all up in my shit all summer. But okay, I see you. And when you piss Sierra off, you piss her off. Sierra tells them that she's at the point that she wants to tell Jesse not to even come around her room, her daughter, her son, anything anymore. And that if he wants to play that type of game with her, then he's the one that's going to get his feelings hurt. And I don't doubt that, my friends. I don't at all. Besties, thank you for joining me here and giving me grace for releasing this a day late. I will be back to the regularly scheduled programming next week. Well, as in Summer House the episodes will be on Thursdays, and I will be covering the Valley on Wednesdays. And I think for now we might be doing 2 episodes a week. I don't know. Maybe I will be covering Atlanta. Let's see. Because part of the issue is that I had gotten so used to my life, schedule recording being Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I scheduled everything, every appointment on Monday and Tuesday. Now, oops, because I can't miss this appointment on Monday. I'm getting Botox for the first time in over a year, like a year and a half. So very important. I've been waiting and waiting to do it. But I will see what I can work out, my friends. Okay. Thank you again for listening. Do me a favor. If you love this show, could you share it with some of your besties, please? Because I am going to be covering the second season of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which comes out in just a little less than a month. I will be recapping that because y'all know it's all over my TikTokies and there's some interesting surprises maybe to share. So be sure and share with friends about that. Also, forewarning, this podcast, the name is going to be changing. I've told you about that many times before in the past, but I am changing the name very soon. Okay. Because I'm not only going to be covering Bravo and I want to enjoy a little more freedom and also not get sued at some point. Okay, besties, please be sure and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to YouTube. It's the same name everywhere at Besties by Caitlin, Caitlin. And leave a 5-star review if you're listening on audio with a little comment about what you do enjoy about the show. It means the world. I read every single one of those comments. And also check out the Pop Culture Besties Etsy merch shop, all designed by yours truly. Friends, I hope you have an amazing weekend. Oh, yeah, it is Easter weekend. Oh, yeah, it's Good Friday. Okay. Well, a good Friday to you and a wonderful weekend to you. And I will see you on Wednesday. All right, besties. Thanks again for joining. Bye.